Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 lesson 2, which should be completed straight after lesson 1 because you're all in a double period. So, hopefully you found the last lesson okay. If you didn't, go backwards and you can try it again, and hopefully that'll set you up for this one. So, recap on last lesson. We are going to check over and learn from it. So, we're going to check and change your work from lesson 1. Okay, so have your answers to your analyse the development approaches ready, and we're going to check and change and learn for them. Please do not just look at this and move on. Please do the work, please write it down, and that will help you to learn. That's actually learning and doing something to help you learn. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. So do it right or don't do it at all. But if you haven't done it at all in lesson 1, go back and do it before you start it, okay? I'm not being harsh, but it's just the truth. Like, don't watch it for watching's sake, okay? Want you to do really well. So, box breathing. What might be good or bad about the parts of box breathing? Let's take a look. So that's what analyse is asking you to do. Break it down into parts and tell me whether they might be good or bad. And what are the possibilities of these good or bad things, and what impact would those possibilities have? So, box breathing might be good because it doesn't have many stages. There's not that many stages to remember, they're not that complicated. And so, it's not complicated to learn or remember. So you can really do it at any time, and that means that I'm more likely to complete it well and for it to be effective. So you don't have to really worry about, am I doing it right or not? It's quite simple to do because there's not many stages, and therefore you're more likely to complete it well and for it to be effective. The second one is, it also might be good as it doesn't require any equipment. So there's no setup required for anything. That means you can fit it into a pre-game or during the game and refocus when you need to. So you will be able to do it at some point, at any point, because you don't need any equipment to set it up. It's not like you have to set up some sort of machine to sit down and refocus you. It's something you can do yourself, and it doesn't require anything else to do. So you don't have to set it up, and you can do it in your pre-game routine or during the game and refocus when you need to. And the last one here is, it might also be good because it's done internally. So you shouldn't be too embarrassed to do it. It's not like you have to say it out loud. It's not that obvious when you're doing the physical breathing part at all. And that means you're more likely to complete it well and for it to be effective. So those were the 3 marks that you were asked to give in the last lesson. I gave you one overarching model answer, and that applied to all 3, but these are the other 3 marks here. Now let's move on to centering. So centering might not be good because it has many stages. There's 7 stages to it, and they're quite long. And the implication of that, the possibilities of that, is that so it might be complicated to learn or remember. And the impact of it being complicated to learn and remember is that meaning I'm less likely to complete it well and it to be effective. Because that's what it's different from box breathing. Centering's got a few more stages and they're quite long, and you might not do it as well because you might not remember all the stages very well. However, it might be good as it doesn't require any equipment. So if you do remember it, there's no setup, and it means you can fit it into your pre-game routine or during the game and refocus when you need to. So you could do it in a timeout in a game if you wanted. It's up to you, but that's because it doesn't require any equipment. So that's quite a good thing. So it's not going to take any time out of your warm-up, not too much time out of your warm-up. So it doesn't require any setup, and it doesn't take that long to do. And the last one is, it might also be good because it's all done internally. So I'm not embarrassed to do it. So it's exactly the same as the box breathing. You shouldn't be that embarrassed to do it because it's not that obvious what you're doing. Meaning I'm more likely to complete it well and for it to be effective. So that was your 3 extra answers for centering, for analyse. And here's your last one, investigating model performers. IMP. So your first I is, investigating model performers might be good as I can complete it on my phone. I'm hoping you might have a different answer there because I can complete it on my laptop, my phone or my computer. I'm assuming that all of you have one of these at home and therefore you're able to do it. So you could have done it whenever you have time to do it. You didn't have to wait till you come back to school to do it. It's not like we're delayed in doing it. Because you've got it at home, the resource is ready to go. You could do it any time and you're ready to go, and we're not delayed. And the impact of that, meaning I should be able to complete it quickly and start improving my knowledge of roles and responsibilities. So hopefully you've done that. And that is the one good thing, the benefit of investigating model performers. We've all got these devices. The second answer you could have given is, however, there are many websites to read and watch. It wasn't just like watch this guys and learn from it. You were to go and investigate the governing body website, you were going to watch model performers, you were going to use Google to find out what the roles and responsibilities are for a batter and a fielder. And the impact of that is, so it might take longer than expected. And did you have the time to do that? And was it that exciting? Maybe not. So the impact of that is, so I may become bored because remember it's pre-tense, and I might not complete it effectively and not improve my knowledge. So if it's a big long task, I know you guys, you're probably going to get bored. You might not complete it effectively and you won't improve your knowledge, and therefore you're still going to have those negative impacts on performance. However, there is one good thing about it. Another good thing about it is, however, I have to write answers down on a piece of paper. So the impact of that is, so I will be able to refer back to them. And therefore, that was the implication. And the impact of it is, meaning I can keep investigating at any time to continue to learn. So even if you rushed it, but you got all the answers down, when we come back to school and we're going to be taking part in softball, you'll have that piece of paper there to remind yourself of what your role is when you go out there. Okay, so that's it. That was the recap of yesterday's lesson. Check and change all your answers. Did you get them right? Go back and forth in the video to make sure that you've got that. That's the benefit of video lessons, is that you can take your time to check and change your own work. Okay, moving on. Today's learning intention. By the end of the lesson, I will have attempted box breathing and centering at least 3 times so I remember it. By the end of the lesson, I will have described them both. So that's what you're going to have done by the end of today's lesson. So here's box breathing. I would like you to give this a go. So pause the video here, read it through, look at the steps there. So there's only 4 wee steps there. I would like you to give it a go 2 or 3 times so that you remember it. So pause the video here. I'm going to move on to the next slide. Welcome back from doing box breathing. Hopefully you better have done it actually. Yeah, that's a threat. I'm joking, it's not a threat, but you have to do it. Say hello, Mr. Healy.
Depends who I'm saying hello to.
All my hires.
Hello, higher class.
And back to this. So that was Mr. Healy. I recorded this lesson in school. So we're going to move on and we're going to look at centering. So I want you to pause the video here and read through the steps of centering. As you can see, there's 7 quite long steps, and I want you to give that a go. Okay, so you've got to focus and look at a chosen point, and you can close your eyes if you like. Actually, pause the video here, read it yourself, and I want you to do it at least 3 times so you know what it is. Okay? I'm changing to the next slide in 3 seconds, so hopefully you've paused it by now. 3, 2, 1. Now you've got your task. Now, you have got to describe an approach used to overcome a weakness in the mental factor in softball, which is your box breathing. And the second question is, describe an approach you have used to overcome a weakness in the emotional factor in softball, which is obviously your centering. You've just done them today. There are 2 slides on here which gives you an outline of them, but they're not the description. So if you just copy that outline, that's not what I want to see. That's not going to give you, that doesn't look like a description. That's bullet points. We don't want them. We want big paragraphs. Another tip is, remember, to get 1 mark, you need 3 points of description. So make sure you include the who, where, what, how. The how part is where you'll get most of the detail then, and when you did them. I don't need any explanations at all. I don't need you to tell me I closed my eyes because, or I breathed in at this point because. I don't need any of that. Paint a picture of what you just did, okay? Paint a picture of what you just did. Do it in your piece of paper, do it in a jotter, and you need it for the next lesson, so please do it. Okay? Well done, everybody.